Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Club Live here at Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Everyone in the comments, if you could get some questions in tonight, that would be much appreciated. We'll try and answer them. The usual plugs, if you can like, share, and subscribe. The next milestone for us is the dizzy heights of 6,000 subscribers, which is a bit mental. We didn't think we'd get anywhere near 5,000, but we've pressed through that, so we're near 6,000. So yeah, if you could like and share, that'd be much appreciated. So tonight we don't have a full house tonight, unlike Tuesday, but there is the three of us here, the three amigos, as I would say. So first of all, Mr. Scott Carney. Obviously, I was with you last night, so
you well, mate? Yes, it's good to see you, mate. Yes, always good to see you, Alistair. No, I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's Friday night. I've had a few days off from work, using up the last of the annual leave for this year, so it's been a relaxing wee day for me. But yeah, very much looking forward to getting into things tonight. Hello, chat. Hello, everybody.
Yep. And the man they all tune in to see on this podcast, it's not me, it's not Gary, it's not Ryan, it's the one and only Scotia. How's the Wi-Fi holding up down in Hellsworth tonight, Scotia?
We'll see. It's going all right so far. We'll see. It usually does bugger up at some point, but hopefully not tonight. Yeah, I am good, Alistair. Nice wee relaxing day like Scott. Off work today. Took a wee trip up to Ibrox. Not for anything. Well, it was for something in particular. I couldn't find my season ticket, so I think I lost it last weekend. So I had to go up and get a new replacement.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so that was my day in a nutshell.
That wasn't because you had a couple of beverages in you, Scotia.
Well, what I was just about to say, Ali, there is people wonder why Scotia isn't on the podcast sometimes after football games. That probably tells you everything that you need to know.
But it was the only thing I lost. It wasn't like I lost my bank cards or anything. It was just that. So I don't know if it slipped out of my pocket in the train or whatever.
Did they charge you the $5 for it, Scotia, or did they give you it?
It was the $5. It was the $5 this time. I got away with it a few seasons ago when I get it robbed off me in Barcelona. I got it for free back, but no, today it was a wee $5 out the old money account.
Yeah, that amount of money you pay for a season ticket must not cover a renewal of a card day. Honestly, man.
Shocking. But no, that's good to hear. But before we get the Sparta Prague game for last night, Rangers put a statement out about obviously we did play Motherwell on the 23rd of December. It's now been moved for television for Sky. It is now Christmas Eve. I think it's a 12 o'clock kickoff. So Carney, Rangers weren't overly chuffed with it. I know it's all to do with Sky, basically, in terms of where they have the games. It's on TV, but it's not a great one in terms of Scotia. I'll know this in terms of the travel commitments, the trains, etc. But Christmas Eve, it's not very good, is it?
It's a nonsense, mate. It is just an absolute nonsense. There was no reason to move it away from the Saturday. Literally no reason at all to move it, apart from it suits Sky better. There's a clear disregard for the travelling support. It's pretty poor. It's poor. I'm not really surprised though, because of the way Sky look at us. We just fill gaps in between the English Premiership most of the time for them. We're not that important to them, and they're not exactly paying a massive amount for the coverage of the game up here. So we're kind of at their mercy, I suppose, in that regard. But there was something else in that statement regarding we asked for the Ross County. Is it the Ross County game to get moved later?
Yeah, because we were playing in Europe on a Thursday night.
Yeah, and it got denied. Yeah, that got denied. So it's good to see that they're trying to help us, isn't it? I don't mean just us, I mean Scottish football. But yeah, no, it's a bit of a, one for a better term, it's a bit shit to do that to fans really on Christmas Eve. The thing is as well, is they forget people plan ahead for Christmas. Not everybody stays with all their families and that. And I'm sorry to sound like an old Rangers dad here, but I've already made arrangements for Christmas Eve. We've already got stuff arranged. Do you know what I mean? Like when you've got a family that's kind of spread out, you need to plan these things. So no, it's not ideal. I'll need to make a few adjustments. Wasn't going to the game, but even at that, I mean, in terms of doing stuff for the pod and that as well, we need to move stuff about. So no, it's just it wasn't very well received by the club, and quite rightly so. And the fact that they only had an hour's notice before it was actually announced publicly, it just shows you that Sky knew that we're probably not going to be best chuffed about it. So it is what it is, mate. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. You're just going to need to kind of accept this one. But I did appreciate the board releasing a statement around it. It's shown that they're trying to push back on stuff like that, and hopefully stuff like this becomes less of the norm. No, it's not great.
No, I mean, ultimately, Sky dictate. So as soon as it's on Sky, they dictate what they want to do. Scotia, I take it that scuppers you for going to the pub to watch that for is that a Sunday as well? I think Carrie Munster it's a Sunday, Christmas
It's a
Eve.
Sunday.
Is it?
Yeah.
It will be the Sunday, yeah. It's not great being on the Christmas Eve. I don't know, did we have, I might be completely misremembering and confusing this with something else. We might have just been down Paisley Road West having a drink, but I'm sure a few Christmases back there was a game on Christmas Eve. Because I remember the trains at Partick all get cancelled because there was something wrong with the transformer and all the electricity stopped working. So there was a bit of a nightmare then. But yeah, Christmas Eve isn't great because, like you say, the trains all stop that wee bit earlier. Carney says people will be away seeing their families and things like that. No ideal.
The only good thing is that Motherwell they're going to. It's not. I think we were at Ross County before Christmas last year, so it's not too far for travelling. So they'll all get there. They'll be fine. They'll be in good spirits. It's Christmas Eve, so many babies had. But anyway, I just thought I'd pop that in just because Rangers kind of released that before we came on. But Sparta Prague last night, Rangers got a 0-0. It was not a bizarre game, but I thought Rangers rode their luck spectacularly in the first half. It nearly ended up nicking it in the last 15 minutes of the second half. Scotia Carney done a post-match reaction on it, so I'm not going to break down the game, but I'm going to come to you. Did you watch the game? Because I know you're working kind of later, and if you did, what was your kind of take from the game? I take it you were happy with the 0-0, like us.
Yeah, from the off, I think the point is massively important because I don't know if I mentioned it on the Club Deck Corner on Tuesday or if I mentioned it to you guys afterwards. I think like 4 points was the minimum we needed to take away from this double header. So we've got the point, so we just need to now win at Ibrox. But no, my outlook in the game is probably going to be drastically different from an awful lot of people that watch the game because, as you mentioned, I didn't see all of the game.
You saw the last 15 minutes.
No, not quite. I listened to the first half on the radio, and then by the time I got back home and myself settled, I kind of turned it on for the kick-off of the second half, but it wasn't really until 50 minutes onwards that I was actually focused on the game. So like from what I could make out from what they were saying in the radio in the first half was that we got open fairly early and on several other occasions. The 2 yellow cards kind of to Cantwell and Suter when they came through, they worried me, concerned me. Not going to lie, because obviously I can't see what's going on. It's just getting it described to me. So a wee bit concerned with that. And then what I also kind of picked up on from what the commentators were saying was that we weren't really keeping hold of the ball. We were losing possession too easily. Raskin and Lundstrom weren't really being able to cover it. Lammers, Cantwell, the likes, we were sloppy in possession in that way. But actually watching the second half, I thought the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, we looked a wee bit ropey, a wee bit dicey, but covered any threats from Sparta fairly well. But from about 60 minutes onward, I actually think Rangers came into the game, played pretty well. Raskin, noticeably Raskin started carrying the ball an awful lot better, and he was linking up with attacks. And the changes get made to come on. Right, came on. You could see that he's not really played much. He was doing stuff. He wasn't absolutely spectacular, but again, creating chances and things. Lammers unlucky with his chance, I thought, and then Danilo coming on as well, and with the chance that he made kind of freshened things up. So I listened to your guys' reaction last night, and I listened to some other ones today, and I think everyone was kind of in the same boat that because they'd seen the first half, it was terrible, and I purposefully didn't watch the first half today because I didn't want it to colour my judgment. I'll maybe go back tomorrow and sit and watch the first half.
Don't do that yourself. Don't.
Make sure you've got a bevy and you're watching it.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So I'm only kind of focusing on the kind of 40-ish minutes that I've seen of the game. And I thought we looked okay, and the draw was probably a deserved result. We were unlucky, as I say, for Danilo not to score. And as you guys mentioned as well, they probably should have buried it in the last kind of just before full time with their chance. But on that half, I thought it was a fair result, but from what I'm hearing from everyone else, yeah, the first half's definitely clouded the judgment on how we played.
Yeah, Carney, obviously, the game was only last night, so I'd imagine your views haven't changed much from our post-match. But, I mean, if you look at it overall, from what we said, I would have grasped a point at the beginning of the game. You look what the team we've got to pick from, you look at the bench, it's full of young boys. We didn't have a natural left-back as well. We're going out to Sparta, who, let's be honest, are playing well at home. And to get a point over, I know we didn't play great the first half particularly, but I thought it was a very good point, and it sets us up for me brilliant in this group going forward.
Yeah, look, it's the thing we always say when you're full of emotion when you're watching the game, mate, and you don't really fully appreciate maybe what the point is and how crucial that point could be. It could be one of those ones that we speak about and go, we did well to get that point, and it's done as well to get through, etc. That's obviously yet to come. But as I say, during the game, with the team that you've got to pick from, I mean, I wasn't going into expecting Rangers to be tremendous, and the first half very much looked like we've never played that formation before, and we've never played that shape before, and it was all a bit clumsy and messy, and players constantly giving the ball away even when we had it. Some of the passing was, I mean, really bad, really poor. But I also don't think 3 at the back really worked. I get why he done it, but I would revert it back to a 4 at the back pretty quick into that game. But I mean, credit to him for not. He kind of stuck to his guns, I suppose. And in hindsight, you can say he got it right. But at the time, during the first half, Ali, me and you were both sitting saying to each other, it's inevitable that they're going to score, but they didn't, I suppose. But I had that feeling. I would urge any Rangers fan not to think that they were going to score in that first half, because it was just one-way traffic. We didn't do anything the entire half apart from a Lundstrom shot that went past wide and over. I think I was about 40 minutes before we had a shot on goal, and it wasn't even on target. But look, at the end of the day, a point away in Europe at this stage of the competition with Prague, the way that they've been playing, they're unbeaten in the league. I know the league's not exactly top, a top ranking league, but still you still have to play the teams in front of you in terms of the form that they've been in as well. And I thought Rangers, yes, rode our luck. I thought Jack Butland was terrific for Rangers. I thought Sima, even though he's probably never played left wing back or whatever that position was that he was playing, he's never done that before in his life. I thought he did himself no damage at all. He's very much looks like the informed player for Rangers just now. And yeah, we could have nicked it, but we could have lost it all at the same time. At the end of the day, after that first half, mate, I'm delighted with a point, absolutely delighted. And the result and the other result in the group favours us. So no. Looking at it now, it's a good point, very good point. But there's still so much work to be done with this squad, and there's still players within the squad, which I'm probably sure you'll mention, mate, that we're really not seeing anything from them in terms of the outlay that was put onto them. So there's still very much work to be done. But I think without being over dramatic about it, I suppose, I think Clement would have learned more last night than he did on Saturday. I think he would have seen quite a bit from a few players where he thought, you need work. So yeah, but a point, and a crucial point, I think it will be for us as we continue through the group.
Yeah, I think when we played Hibs, obviously you've got this is his first game, it's at Ibrox, there's a buzz of the crowd. I think he got the reality check, if you want to say, in that first half against Sparta, in terms of some of these players that we could probably say it now, I simply aren't up to it in this Rangers team. Scotia, 2 guys I want to talk about, and we talk about them all the time in this podcast, not just us, other podcasts as well. And me and Carney said it last night, we don't like to sit here and talk about it and bash these 2 guys in particular, but you need to call them out at points, because they're our top signings this summer. We paid reportedly 4 million on Dessers and 3 million on Lammers. Flat to deceive the 2 of them. Last night, Scotia, me and Carney, I thought were okay in Dessers. I've heard other podcasts, Carney, that have went, not slaughtered them, but basically said they don't want to see him again. But I mean, on the 2 of them, Scotia, it's another game that's went by that they've really... Dessers didn't have much to go off of, but Lammers in particular. I'll stick with Lammers first, right? So Lammers, for me, I don't think he's got the heart for it. He hides a wee bit for me. What's your thoughts on Lammers? Did you? Obviously, you didn't see the full game last night, but it's another game that it's just passed him by.
Yeah, well, before I come on to them, I just want to pick something that Carney had said there about the 3-5-2 that we were playing, and like obviously I heard your reaction afterwards, and you didn't sound impressed then with it, and Carney's there saying no, they should have changed it straight away. I think obviously because I've not watched the first half, I've not seen what they were like, so they probably were as terrible as you say. But I actually thought it worked quite well in periods in the second half, when you could see what they were doing when the players were holding the ball. Now I don't expect Rangers to play that formation all the time, but I think that's a decent kind of formation to have and use in a European competition, particularly Europe away. And it's a formation, depending on the players that you've got in the team, it's a formation that can kind of morph into a different type of formation, should you need it. But yeah, I just wanted to pick up on that, Ali, because as you say, I didn't manage to watch the first half, which is probably where Dessers and Lammers were at their worst, would you say?
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Because in the second half, when I seen them in the second half, they just looked like the same players that they've looked like so far this season. You know, they didn't look any worse. They didn't really look any better. So if they were even worse in the first half, then that's a problem. For me, on both of them, I don't know if you can play. You can't right now. They both shouldn't be playing together at the same time until they improve. Right now, I think it's not doing either of them any credit to play them both together when they're both having such poor games. Lammers, for me, there was at one. As I said, we mentioned the kind of his chance that he had. He was unlucky with it. Keeper makes a good save. And he actually it was going on target this time, because usually when Lammers goes to hit shots from there that we've seen, they're going wide and stuff. So at least he's getting his shooting boots nearer to the target, or on target, should I say. But there was a point in the second half where he does what he does. He beats a man, then he takes the ball back to try and beat him again. And I was like, what are you doing there? Didn't seem great. And I think maybe he's part of the problem we had in the first half, that he wasn't holding up the ball well enough. Is that fair to say? That's kind of the impression I got from listening to it. Yeah, and then Dessers, from what I've seen of Dessers, he was only on the park for about 15-20 minutes from what I've seen. As I say, it was just seemed the same. If it was even worse in the first half, then I don't really know where we go with these two, to be honest.
Yeah, Carney, it's what do we do with the two of them going forward? Because he obviously wants to give everyone a clean sheet, and he's played the two of them in the last two games. I thought Dessers on Saturday was okay. I know you thought he was better than that. Last night, I didn't think he was great, but then you can caveat it with he didn't have much support, but he never looked like he could hold a ball up. He didn't look like he could run in behind. And Lammers, for me, is just... he's overtaken Dessers in the worst out of the two of them, which we said last night. But what do you do with them going forward? And you look at it, Dessers is probably going to play because of the situation up front at the moment, so he will get game time. But I agree with Scotia. For me, Lammers, I don't think he should be near this team at the moment.
I think if there was other options, mate, I think if Florence was fit, for example, I don't think he would be playing, honestly, I don't. I'll stick with Lammers as well just now. Apart from that one shot that he got, which was a decent effort and it's a decent save, probably a good height for the keeper after seeing it back. But even at that, it's still a decent save, and it was a shot on target, which was, there wasn't many of them. There wasn't many of them last night, but everything else about the guy, I don't get it. He gave the ball away constantly. One of the passes, I think it was about 20 minutes in or something, it's a square pass to Tav and he just passes out of the park. Yeah. And the guy looks like he's just on rock bottom in terms of confidence levels and belief in himself, and there's a long way back from him. But you've got to remember as well, before we signed him, that we all spoke about his scoring record and the way it's been recently, and he hasn't been scoring goals, and you can see why. You can literally see why. I don't understand it. I don't understand the signing of the player. You've got to try as much as you can to give them a kind of clean slate and a clear slate, but that's 2 games since Clemence took over, and I've seen absolutely nothing from Lammers to make me think that he deserves to play for us, really. It's bizarre, because when we first signed him and we first seen glimpses of him in friendly matches, he was looking pretty good. Not good, but he was looking right, okay, looks like there's a bit of freshness there. He's capable, he's got ability, and it's just disappeared. It really has just disappeared. I think he looks like he's under pressure all the time when he's playing. I think he looks, as I say, bereft of any sort of confidence, any sort of idea, any belief that anything that he does is actually going to come off. And yeah, we're at a point now where we either stick or twist, I think, with him, because there's not really much options. I think that's the thing just now. There isn't a great option to change it for him. So no, Lammers for me, it's right now it's a no. All for to get. I want to be proven wrong. I always want to be proven wrong, but right now I just don't. I don't see it at all. Don't see nothing in him. Dessers. Last night he wasn't good. As I say, I watched the game back, and there is points he should have done a lot better than he did. And I say in the heat of the game, you're trying to look for positives, I suppose, in him. Because I don't think he was good on Saturday. He was decent. He was improved from what I've seen from him before, but last night was not great at all. And it's kind of like a conundrum with both of the players both of them they have just now. Not every signing that Rangers are going to make is going to work, but these two are so far off it just now. It's like, where do we go? We're going to just need to stick, I think, because of the way that the squad is. Dessers is. I want him to be good. Honestly, I do. I really want him to be good, but I'm getting to the point where I'm going, is this blind faith for me now? Am I trying to back the guy just a wee bit too much and hoping that we can pull something out of him? But I say last night, he should have done better. I think the service that he got in the first half in particular, I don't know what you expect him to do with it. Do you know what I mean? At one point he got the ball down, we were sitting in a pub watching it, Ali, and there was 3 players around him and nobody with him, and they get the ball took off him and people in the pub are going bonkers, and I'm going, like, I don't know what you expect the guy to do there. He's not going to skin all 3 players, run through and put the ball in the net. It's just not going to happen. But his lack of pace as well, there's nothing. Yeah. I still don't know what kind of striker he is. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the big thing. I don't know what kind of striker he is. I'm kind of willing him to be good, but he's not really restoring my blind faith that I'm probably showing in him. But the two of them, mate, if we had other options, I don't think they would be playing.
Yeah, and the big problem at the moment is the majority of the Rangers support have made their minds up on these two guys already.
100%.
I'm trying to think back to when we've spent really good money in players, 2 players that Rangers support have not turned on them, but they can see with their own eyes at this present point they're not good enough to play for Rangers. And I hope they do prove us wrong, Carney, but I just can't see it. I can't see it with the two of them. Dessers, for me, was supposed to be the replacement for Morelos, and he's never going to be Alfredo Morelos, but the characteristics of he struggles to hold a ball up, he can't bully defenders, he's got a lack of pace. I'd love to. Obviously, Michael Beale scouted him apparently, but we'll just need to see what happens. Like I say, I really hope Dessers scores a brace against Hearts on Sunday and proves us all wrong and kicks on. But I'll need to wait and see what happens with that one. But moving on, Scotia, a man with a mask come on in terms of Danilo. I thought when he came on, you've seen a complete change in the top line. He looks like a proper striker from you, Scotia, and the quicker we get him fitter and playing 90 minutes, the better, because he's a guy we're going to have to rely on for the rest of the season. Well, until we hit January at least.
Yeah, no, when Danilo came on, I think it just improved. But like I say, I think we were improving anyway, and we were in the game and kind of not controlling the game. I don't want to say that because I don't think we were, but 10-15 minutes before Danilo came on, I think we were getting better. Then him coming on gave us that wee bit more of pace up front that Dessers wasn't able to provide. And you know, you'll probably come on to it from Clement's press conference later when he talked about Danilo and where he is. But I know he was out injured there, but his injury was for like a facial skull fracture. Yeah. Now, in terms of like the fitness of the body, I don't think that will deteriorated too much. Sorry, because obviously it's not like he's just laid up, not moving about or anything like that. So hopefully it shouldn't be too long until he's like starting games and being able to last for the whole 90 minutes, because that's him now played. He got a wee cameo at the Hibs game there, a good 25 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes, last night, and he also played that half against, is it Breidablik, I want to say, on Sunday, that bounce game we played. So he's getting a fair bit of game time under his belt, so hopefully it won't be too much longer until he is able to be first selected in the starting lineup. Yeah,
Danilo for me is critical. We need to get him back in this team because he's a guy that looks, like I say, he looks like a striker. Looks like he can score goals. He's agile, his movement's good, and he's a must for me. He's got to start in the League Cup semi-final at least. I mean, I know that's a week away, but for me, he's got to start that game.
Yeah, the bit around fitness, with him, and if he's like, I know you'll come on and get asked about it, if he's ready for 90 minutes. I was like, and CJ made a very funny comment. He broke his cheek, not his legs. Oh, that's quite true, actually. I don't think it's going to affect his fitness too much, but I think it's probably more a duty of care to him. In order for the cheekbone to get better, because we do play in Scotland. There will be players that try and elbow in the face. It will happen. You can't deny it. Everybody knows that it will happen, so it's probably more a duty of care to make sure it's as strong as possible before he's kind of let free for a significant period of time on the pitch, which isn't ideal for us. Of course it isn't, but I also think he's probably been rushed back quicker than he normally would have been. Due to Clement coming in, Clement seeing that it's only Dessers that he's got to play up front, because of also Kamal Roof, but we'll definitely come on to that. But with Danilo, he does look like a good player. He does look like a good player. And I mean, it just sums up the way our season went, mate. As he scored that goal, he gets injured, then he's out, and you're like, of course he is. We're desperate for a striker to be scoring goals for us, and that happens to him. But he's definitely an improvement on Dessers. I don't think that's a long stretch at all, me saying that. And I think he's going to be crucial for us. I just don't know how Clement's going to manage it. I really don't. You've got to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I think it's more down to a duty of care to him, because if he gets another sore one in the face, well, a mask on or not, then it's not going to look good. It's not going to be a particularly quick road back for him should it get another bump or another break or whatever. So, but Danilo, yes, mate, he's crucial, because he just looks like he wants to run at players. He looks quite nippy, he looks quite quick, he looks like he's got decent ability and good control with his feet, and he just wants to run and get a shot away. So he'll be a breath of fresh air, mate, when we eventually get him. But I would urge Clement to do his best as he can to get him back as quickly as possible for all our sakes, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm glad to see Danilo back. Kamal Roof, we will come on to everyone, so do not worry. That is later on the podcast. But just before I do my favourite part of the podcast, which is the Manscaped promo, I thought I just wanted to talk quickly about Scotia. I'd assume you've seen this, I put in the group chat. Graham Souness was on TalkSport with Jim White, and was it Simon Jordan was there? And they were obviously asking him about this role that he looks like he's going to take up the Rangers, some sort of ambassador role, if you want to say. But they asked about the appointment of Clement. Obviously, he was there as an advisor for Rangers. And he kind of came out and said, which I thought was a bit bizarre for him to say this, especially when he's going to be employed by Rangers soon, which looks like it, that his choice was Lampard, in terms of he liked Lampard. Now, he didn't say he didn't want Clement. He said Clement ticked the boxes as well. And he was very complimentary about Clement, but I just thought it was a bit bizarre that he basically, in a roundabout way, said he wanted Lampard. What was your thoughts on
it? I heard White and Jordan speaking this in TalkSport yesterday, and then I heard them speaking about it in BBC Sports Sound when I was listening to the game last night, and then I've obviously seen the clip that you sent to the group chat this morning. He's been asked a question and he's answered that he's not employed by Rangers yet. I've not really got any huge issues with it. I mean, what he said is that the reason that he preferred Frank was probably because he knew more about the west of Scotland, what Rangers was all about. He's maybe looking at it from the angle. We do it as well, because I remember having this discussion after Gio left, and we talked about, do we want a British or a European manager, someone that understands the British game, someone that understands European or doesn't understand it if you're coming from Europe, etc. He was asked the question. I don't really see it as that big of an issue. Clement again spoke about this in his press conference as well, and kind of just waved it away, saying you've misinterpreted it, whatever, potentially. But if he said that, but you've got to remember, Walter Smith wanted Derek McInnes as his preferred choice for the Rangers manager when he was asked the question, and this is the first time Derek McInnes was asked. And I remember there being quite a bit of discontent among there were some Rangers fans that were all for that decision, some that were vehemently against it. So everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I don't see it being that big an issue.
Yeah, that wasn't a big issue for me, Carney, but I just thought it was quite after we all knew that Souness was on this panel, apparently, for him to say it on TalkSport that he preferred Lampard, and he was the one guy that the Rangers support unified, basically saying we do not want Lampard. So it was interesting to say that he fancied Frank Lampard, and well, as I just said there, Carney, the Rangers support did not want Frank Lampard.
No, I didn't. I certainly didn't. I didn't want Lampard. I find it slightly bizarre. Well, what I find even probably more bizarre is going by what Souness says. It looked like Lampard and Clement were the front two, not Muscat and Clement.
Yeah.
And the decision the decision for the club to release that Lampard wouldn't be the next manager was about a week and a bit maybe before the announcement was made, in terms of at least a week, I would say anyway, of Clement being the new manager. I don't know if it's been a slip of the tongue, and I know everything's kind of misinterpreted in different ways, but I don't know what Souness was hoping to achieve by saying that. It's one of those things that he's going to walk in on his first day, walk up to Clement and go, "Hi Phil, you're my second choice, by the way." Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks for that. That's good vote of confidence right there. But no, I found it bizarre. I did. I found I was like, there was no need for you to say that. Like, I know he was full of praise for Clement, and he was. He said that Clement was the outstanding candidate, and the only thing that he was worried about really was how he dealt with football in the west of Scotland. And I'm like, he's a big guy. He's got big shoulders. I'm sure his personality is certainly strong enough to be able to deal with the coming to west of Scotland. I know time will tell, obviously, on that, but. Yeah, interesting, mate. Very interesting. I don't think there would be many Rangers fans that would have been happy with the appointment of Frank Lampard. I don't think you'd find many that would have been chuffed if it would have been him. I know he's got a good name. I know he's probably a decent manager to an extent. He's done well in two clubs, or maybe one or two clubs. I don't think he's not one club. It's only Derby done well.
Right with,
yeah, done all right at Derby. So, just based on the track record alone, then I think Clement beats it for me. So no, I think the board have made the correct choice in terms of Clement. I don't think you're going to get me changing my mind, even if Souness thinks Lampard would have been the better choice. But no, I found it a bit weird. I just feel like he didn't need to say it. That's all.
I just thought I'd bring it up just when I seen the clip today. I thought, Christ, you know what, Graham Souness, he's a big character, Souness, and he'll say, like, he's got his own opinion, but he'll say a lot of times. So it was yes, it was interesting. But anyway, it is time for a word from our sponsors. Sponsors of Club at 22 Manscaped are taking a step up from Halloween to bring your face the cleanest shave it's ever seen. So this season, no need to toil and trouble. Manscaped's all-new Handyman is the best way to get rid of that stubble. Featuring a compact design and next-gen skin-safe technology, the Handyman was designed to give you that smooth finish without the mess of a traditional shave. Get the sweetest treat this Halloween by going to manscaped.com and use the code CLUB at 22 for 20% off and free shipping. The Handyman's safe skin technology will help reduce nicks and cuts so you can finally feel confident when going for that close shave. For wet or dry use, feel free to bring this anywhere and everywhere. The compact design makes this perfect travel tool for on the go. I took this to Italy, so it is perfect. The Handyman's capability of shaving up to 3 days growth without the mess of the wet shave is priceless. Manscaped also have launched its Beard Hedger Pro Trimmer kit, which was everything you need to tame your mane. Your Halloween costumes may take effort, but beard grooming doesn't need to go. When you can take 20 different beard lengths in just one guard, there's no trick with this treat. Manscaped has you covered. Once again, Manscaped supports Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, so much they provide an exclusive offer for our listeners and viewers. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUB at 22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code CLUB at 22. For a look as sweet as candy, get yourself the Handyman from Manscaped.
Well done, Alistair. That's probably one of the best times you've done that, mate. That was quite impressive. Well
the
done,
Handyman is very good. I will
it is
say
very
that.
good.
I did take it on my my holiday to Italy. Very compact, and yes, it's well worth the money, Carney. I know Scotia's not used this Handyman yet. You used the Handyman yet, Scotia? No.
I don't know. I can't remember if I have or not. No, I think I have. I think I've used it.
You should be saying yes. Manscaped has used it. He uses it all the time. Yeah, he does. He uses it every day. No, it is a cracking bit.
I'm still using the Beard Hedger at the moment.
Yeah, and they've got something new coming in November as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Very much looking forward to it. But thank you, Manscaped. Their stuff is generally brilliant. You use their code, you're supporting our podcast, so we can't thank you enough.
Yeah, no, use the code. Yeah, no, thank you, Manscaped. Brilliant as always. Especially the wee, I love reading all the things like that Halloween hut, Carney. I seen that today. I was like,
I've not read the new. I've been sent over what next month is, and I've actually
Oh,
not read
God.
it yet. But there'll be something in it, mate. There usually is. I don't know what it'll be, but there's always something because they usually send like 2 or 3 through, and like it's different bits, and you can pick bits and basically create your own advert, your own promo for it. And so, mate, I'm like, I'm not reading that, and I'm not getting the lads to read it either. But no, man, you can tell they're American, but no, they're superb, Manscaped pure, so I can't criticise at all.
Yeah, no, it is good. But anyway, we're here to talk about Rangers. So moving on, before we get to the Hearts game, the presser was today. Obviously, Philip Clement was in front of the press. The main thing from the presser for me today, which we will get in discussion now, was injuries, which Rangers have a lot of at the moment, and we had a lot of last season. I don't think Clement is overly happy with the injury situation at Ibrox. As I said, though, this is not a new thing for Rangers. We had horrific injuries last season, and this season is just as bad. Barisic may be back for the weekend, but from what it doesn't sound like he will be back, but he should be back in the next week or so, Barisic. That isn't a concern for me because Yilmaz can play there, and I think Yilmaz should play there. So Barisic should be back when we play Sparta in a couple of weeks, so that's fine there. But Carney, the one... The one that came out of the presser, which I think everyone's group chats would have been going today, was Kemar Roofe. Now, I seen him on Instagram a couple of days ago with a big moon boots on, but apparently he wasn't in the squad last night. He is injured again. Clement did say they need to get to the root of the problem. They don't want him basically come back for a couple of games and break him down. Now, we were told that he was out for 4 months last season because they got to the root of the problem. So, Kemar Roofe, what do we do with Kemar Roofe? Obviously, his contract's up next season. For me, he does not get that extended next season. No chance. But it's beyond a joke now with Kemar Roofe now, isn't it?
It's ridiculous, mate. It really is ridiculous. Friend of the pod, Graham, I don't know if I think he's maybe sitting watching. He sent me through a injury list from Kemar Roofe. I think it's off Transfer Market. 2021 calf problem 32 days, 2021 thigh problems 14 days, 2021 calf problems 18 days, 21-22 a knock 45 days, 21-22 knee injury 25 days, 21-22 knee injury 152 days, 22-23 knee injury 220 days. That is unbelievable. I mean, that is unbelievable. So, yeah, I mean, also, I just came to my head, we met somebody in the club deck, the woman, what was her name? Ali, you have it on your phone. I think it was Carol. I'm pretty sure it was Carol. We met her in the club deck.
It was Carol.
It was Carol. It was lovely to meet you. Forgot to mention it last time. So
she said Lammers would come good. So
yeah, she did. She did say Lammers would come good. Yeah. So no, it was lovely to meet you, Carol. But no, the Kemar Roofe, mate. Clement's not happy, right? Quite rightly so. He's looking at the list of injured players, and he has already made mention that he's going to be all over the top of the medical team in terms of what they're doing, and quite rightly so. I think it's about time we start asking questions about this medical team. Now, Kemar Roofe is probably separate from that because I think his body's chucking it on him. I really do. I think his body's getting to the point where he's going, I can't do what you're asking me to do anymore. And sometimes it happens to football players. I don't see him having a very long career. Even after he leaves Rangers, Rangers cannot take the risk and sign him for another season, a year's contract, whatever it may be at the end of this contract. We can't, because we can't rely on him anymore. And in that area of the pitch where we're sparse already, this is very unwelcome news about Kemar Roofe. But I think there is a bigger question around that about what happens with our medical team and what is happening with our medical team, because the standards of what Clement expects, I think, a former medical team are blatantly not there. And I think there's a lot of work to be done there. But yeah, Kemar Roofe's injured. I don't think ever since he's come back, mate, from what the words that Clement was saying, he's been going game to game. We can't have that. We can't have a striker on that amount of money at Ibrox going game to game. It's just not possible. Everything's always short term with Kemar Roofe. God knows how long he's going to be out for now, mate, because if the 4 months that he was out for that operation that he went and had was meant to get to the problem and it hasn't, you could be looking at another 4, 5, 6 months out now, and that gets him pretty much towards the end of the season. it's time to wash our hands of Kemar Roofe, unfortunately, and it's no disrespect to him. We've said that a million times. An in-form firing Kemar Roofe is a fantastic asset to have within any team in Scotland. And yeah, unfortunately, we're back at where we were at the start of the season with him. It's unfortunate. It's the way it is, and it's no disrespect to him, but I'm done with Kemar Roofe. It's time for him to move on, because he has to. He just has to. Dundee Taylor, thank you so much for the $9.99, mate. That's very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Scotia, Kemar Roofe. Take it, will be down Dumbarton, open up more kebab shops down your neck of the woods.
Fantastic.
I know. What's your thoughts on Kemar Roofe, Scotia? Obviously, as Carney says, he's a fantastic footballer when fit, but it's now beyond a joke now, isn't it?
For a hill, just quickly, probably. Sorry, Scotia. I mean, if we're going to, that's probably the most that you could go on a pay-to-play contract. But I don't even know if Kemar Roofe would be up for signing that. But it's what we would need to do to try and protect ourselves. Sorry, Scotia.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, I don't think Roofe would take a pay-to-play contract right now because there must be some other club out there that's as daft as us to sign an injury-prone player. There must be. We can't be the only ones. But no, Roofe, it's beyond a joke. It's Carney, you listed off 4 sort of separate wee injury reasons you had there. So if it's 4 months out for the root of the problem, that's 16 months in total. We've got one out of the way. Another year left until he's actually up and going, and by that time he'll probably be closing in retirement age as well. Roofe's potentially separate to the rest of the injuries, like you say, because this has been an ongoing thing. Gallant Pine.
That's quite funny. Sorry, Scotch, that put me off as well. If Roofe was on a pay-to-play, he'd make about £40 a year. That's good.
Yeah. But no, yeah, so it's no great with Roofe. But I noticed that I mentioned it last week, and I noticed that the Hibs press conference had mentioned about injuries didn't look pleased, and that was after 5 days. He's had a further 7 days to kind of assess the situation, and he's clearly very not happy with the medical, or not the medical staff, sorry, should I say, but how our players are getting injured so often and how they're not recovering from them, constantly breaking down. I think today he mentioned 7 players that are all out injured, 7 players that you could easily see being in someone's starting 11, and he didn't even include an 8th player in Kieran Dowell in that as well. So, and again, he's a player that you would, if he was fit, he would be in consideration for a starting 11 place. So there's 8 first-team players that are out injured at the moment. I've not looked into if there's any more than that or not, but it's not a great situation. But this is a situation we've been in. It seems like we've been in it last season and the season before that as well. So there is something that hopefully Clement can get to the bottom of, but I'm not holding my breath because it's, as I say, an ongoing issue.
Yep.
Shots fired. Ali by Rangers on tour. Who's a better appearance ratio, Roofe or Ryan?
Ryan.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Shocking.
Never chuffed to
Ryan. He's not even on holiday either, so
he's not.
Slack.
He's just too busy to come and spend time with us 3, I think.
He's got a social life unlike the 3 of us. We don't have one. But don't worry, Ryan will be back. But yeah, the pressure really was about injuries, let's be honest about it, Carney. Matondo and Lawrence, still, I didn't think Matondo would be back soon, to be honest, because we knew he'd be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Lawrence, for me, we've been told from Beale weeks ago when he was still a manager that he should be back soon. He's fallen away. As Scotia mentioned, Kieran Dowell, Carney, not even mentioned about him. We don't know where he is. He apparently was seen on a training video last week, but again, not mentioned. Sterling, injured. How's he injured again? I don't know. But yeah, it's baffling again. Lawrence, for me, Carney, gives me the worry because we've been told he's due back, and I just think we've been bitten before with players, and he's a very good player, Lawrence, but I just think he could potentially break down again with us. But these 4 guys, take Matondo out because he'll come back, I think, but Lawrence, Sterling and Dowell, we don't really get much news about them at all, and God knows when they will be back.
No, I think the biggest worry that I had on what he said is that he said Matondo and Lawrence weren't ready for training, and I'm like, Lawrence isn't ready for training. I can understand Matondo, but if Lawrence has had another setback, this is Jordan Rossiter 7 to 10 days, mate. This is exactly what it is with Lawrence. It's the biggest issue that I have with Lawrence is that since he's came and since he got that real bad injury at the start, I don't think he's fully recovered from it, and we're still seeing this reoccurring thing come up. Whether that's again down to the medical team as well, we don't know. We'll never know. But it's definitely a real concern for me. So we don't know what the injury is with him. We don't know what the injury is with Sterling. We don't know what the injury is with Dow. We don't know what these things are. But it's very much a worry right now. Very much a worry that we don't seem to be signing players that have the legs to kind of deal with Scottish football, to deal with, or they've got an injury proneness in them and we're continuing to sign them, and if they don't get injured, we'll get something out of them kind of thing. I think we're all a wee bit sick of it. We are. It seems to happen to us a lot, Rangers. I know other teams obviously get injuries and that. I do get that, but we seem to be a magnet for players that have got a high injury probability, and it just continues to happen over and over again. Yeah, unfortunate for Lawrence, probably the most, because it is one that worries me, mate. I worry and I go, is he actually ever going to be back? Is he ever going to be fully fit? Is this just, as I say, a 7 to 10 days job until, well, whenever really? But injury list is creeping up and up and up, mate.
Yeah, it's one man that has appeared is Mr. Haymarch in the comments. If you look in the comments, he's appeared, so he's obviously not very happy with Rangers on tour. So he's there. But yeah, the one guy, Scotia, that looks like actually he's coming back, which I actually forgot about. Me and Carney, actually. I think we mentioned him last night, me and Carney in the pub. Cifuentes is due back into training next week, Scotia. He's a guy that, similar to Lammers, has fallen off the face of the earth in the last few games he played for Rangers. He looked quite intimidated playing at Ibrox in terms of the crowd was quite hostile. But where do you see Cifuentes fitting in when he comes back? Do you think he'll slot into the team, or do you think he'll kind of take time to come into that team?
Well, I think you're doing him a massive disservice for comparing him to Lammers. I think that's taking it a bit too far.
Well, he's not. When I say that,
he's anywhere near as bad as that.
He's not as bad as Sam Lammers. I'll take that back. I'm just saying, the last couple of games at Ibrox, he has disappeared right into his shell.
Yeah, I think I've seen more from Cifuentes. Certainly, I think I've mentioned this in the past. I think for him, it's completely different to Lammers. He's coming from, what is he, Honduran, and he's obviously played in the MLS.
Ecuador,
he's moving across to play European football, and not even European football, Scottish football. So it's a big kind of culture shift for him. So I'm willing to give him a bit longer to adapt and adjust. I think he said he was maybe back in training tomorrow. If all goes well, I don't expect him to see him involved in the game on Sunday. All right, I thought he'd said he was back in training on Saturday. But I don't expect him to be involved in the Hearts game at all. But, it gives us an option. I think ideally I'd want him going in because Lundstrom's coming at the end of his contract. Jack will be coming at the end of his contract. Probably get rid of them. Cifuentes is there because something Clement mentioned in his press conference, potentially maybe linked to injuries, is that he wants a big squad. He wants a big squad to be able to compete in all levels of competition, which is probably a bit different from our 3 previous managers who were more in favour of a leaner squad. But, I'm hoping Cifuentes comes good. So the jury's still out on him, but like I say, I'm willing to give him more time than some of the rest that we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, and thank you very much, you and Minton, for becoming a YouTube member. Much appreciated. Carney, it's Cifuentes. I want to slag Cifuentes off, but the last couple of games for Rangers, he was very poor, to be honest, along with a lot of other players. But it'll be good to have him back, though, because we don't have many options in the midfield at the moment. So he's another option in there.
100%. I still think there's more to come from him, based on pretty much Scotia's argument as well, as he was saying there. I pretty much agree. I don't think he was great the last couple of times we did see him. I thought he was worryingly bad, but I do believe that he's a player that needs a bit more direction. He needs a wee bit more of a, there is your specific role, this is what you're going to do. And Clement, I think, is the kind of guy that's going to do that for him. So, look, it'll be an option that we need badly in the midfield. We're pretty thin on the ground in that area in terms of players that can maintain fitness anyway. So yeah, he'll be an option. He comes back, but no, he's not one that the jury's out to an extent because I've not really seen him consistently, if that makes sense. Until I see him get a decent run in the team, and then obviously we'll make a judgment from there. But I still think there's more to come from him. So hopefully he's back soon.
So I am Neo in the comments saying that we save him a fortune, so he doesn't go to the pub on a Friday night. Listens to us.
Saves me a fortune as well because I'm not in the pub right now on a Friday night.
Yeah, I thought it was quite funny. But yeah, moving on to Sunday. Hearts visit Ibrox. Obviously, we're going to play Hearts twice in the space of a week. We've got them in the semi at Hampden next Sunday with Dundee sandwich in between as well. But Hearts, they're sitting fourth in the league. They've played 9, obviously the same as us. They've won 3, drawn 2, lost 4. They've only won 2 out of the last 5. The fans, from what I can take, and from I've worked through Edinburgh quite a few times, haven't taken to Naismith. I think they want Naismith out. And thank you very much, Andrew Moore. Much appreciated. I can't say God bless America to you because your son lives in America, not you. But yes, much appreciated, Andrew. But yeah, Naismith for me is in borrowed time at Hearts because the Hearts fans don't want them there. Obviously, they get beat 4-1 off Celtic last weekend there. Carney, what's your thoughts going into this one? Obviously, Hibs we took care of convincingly last weekend. We've got Hearts coming who aren't in a very good streak of form. Naismith's, like I said, I think is on borrowed time, but Hearts twice in a week.
Yeah, no, I think if we play anything like we did on Saturday, mate, I think we'll be fine. I really do. I don't think Hearts are looking particularly clever just now. And yeah, you're right, mate. Naismith is very much on borrowed time out there. No wonder I despise him. So yeah, quite right that he goes. Doesn't deserve to have success. No, I'll not open that can tonight. But no, in terms of we have to do the same thing as we done against Hibs, mate. We have to start well. We have to start aggressive. We have to push. We have to dictate the game. And I think Rangers will be all right. Their forward line's struggling as well just now. I think Shanklin's not scored in quite a few games. I think
scored against Celtic.
Oh, did he score?
Did he? Celtic, so he scored in their last game. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, he scored against Celtic. There you go. That's how good my research is for Hearts. But no, I expect Rangers to win. Of course, I do. I expect Rangers to win, and I think we will. I think Rangers will be fine. As I say, we'll go back to a more Clement style formation. I would have thought with the players that are going to come back in to the squad. So no, I think Rangers will be okay. I think it could be the end of Naismith after Sunday. So, well, maybe not because it never usually tends to happen after a game against the Old Firm. But yeah, I say I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing what comes more under Clement, and we continue the story as he keeps calling it.
Yeah, Scotia. Obviously, we've got Lowry over at Hearts at the moment, who's been kind of in and out their team since he's been there. He's been, I don't know, he kind of splits the Hearts fans in terms of, I think he's been good in some games and he's not been very clever in other games, but obviously he can't play. There he is, Justin Muir. God bless America. Like I say, we need to get our way to Dallas, Texas. A pre-season tour at that. Carney, you funding this?
No bother, mate. Aye, okay. No problem. That'll be right.
Scotia's only fans will fund that.
You're minted as well, mate, so you can take us, it's fine.
I wish I was minted, but no, I'd be delighted to go out to Teg. That'd be some trip.
That would be superb, it would be.
Take Justin out for a pint. Aye, that would be good. But Scotia, Hearts, what's your thoughts for Sunday?
Aye, much like you say, their fans do seem pretty disgruntled at the moment. I kind of half watched their game against Celtic the other week there. They weren't very good. They were poor. I was expecting an awful lot more of them, to be honest. And then the week or couple of weeks before that, they kind of capitulated to Hibs. They were 2-0 up and then conceded twice to draw 2 each. So I can understand why the Hearts fans are grumbling. Yeah, I'm hoping that we go out and kind of carry on where we left off last Saturday, and maybe not so much on Thursday night there, but where we left off against the other Edinburgh team, and can kind of improve on, because from what we've seen from the team, playing 2 different systems in the last 2 games, first 2 games under the new manager, there's definitely room for improvement, and we're seeing sort of signs of improvement in certain areas. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next week. Obviously, the semi at Hampden next Sunday for me. I'm really looking forward to that one. Obviously, not going to Hampden because it's a dump of a place to go to, but the actual game, the chance to get to a final. But we have Hearts first in the league and we need to win it. But Scotia, I'll stay with you. I'd be very surprised if we don't probably pick this round about the same team because there's not much to pick from. But what is your team scoreline and first goal scorer?
Well, I've not picked the first goal scorer yet. I'll think of that one. Right. My team is Butland in goal, back 4 of Tav, Goldson, Suter and Yilmaz. Although I did think Ben Davies had, from what I seen of the game the other night, I think he played fairly decently in defence.
Not left back,
midfield. Yeah, no, but it wasn't playing as a left back, really. He was playing as a left centre back. But anyway, I just digress. Jack and Raskin in midfield. I think maybe it's time to get Jack involved in the games. I'm going Sima out on the left, Cantwell through the middle, and Scott Wright playing out wide. I was thinking about maybe McCausland, but then I was thinking we've got this Sparta Prague game return game in 2 weeks, and Wright's probably going to be involved unless players suddenly come back from injury really quickly. So I would like to see him get some game time in between, because you could see that he looked pretty rusty when he came on, maybe lacking a wee bit of match sharpness. And up top, I would really like it to be Danilo, but I think it's going to be Dessers. So I'll go with Dessers up top. And first goal scorer, I'll go with Todd Cantwell.
Right. Carney, teams scoring first goal scorer.
Pretty similar to Scotia. I don't think Ryan Jack will play though. I think it'll be Lundstrom and Raskin. I don't think he'll split that up. I don't really want to pick Scott Wright, but I feel like I need to, because we need to take Lammers out the firing line, I think. So I would play Scott Wright, Seaman on the left, the same as Scotia. Danilo, I doubt Danilo will start, so it has to be Dessers. There's actually nobody else. McCausland's probably a good shout in terms of him playing over Scott Wright. I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. I think he probably deserves a bit of a chance. It would maybe be quite nice as well, instead of Lundstrom, to see Rice playing. But again, I don't know if we're at that stage yet. Again, with Ryan Jack, even though you all know I'm a massive Ryan Jack fanboy, he's another one that just consistently gets injured and he's out, and he comes back for 2 or 3 games, then he's out, and I'm a wee bit sick of it. I'm a wee bit sick of it, and his performances haven't been great this season. I don't think he's been particularly good. Neither has anybody, really, let's be honest. There's a number of them that still have a lot of work to do in order to pull the form around for the rest of the season. But yeah, that'll be my team. I'll go 3-0 Rangers, and I'll go Seema to score first.
What was your scoreline against Scotia?
4-0. I don't know if I said it. I think I said Cantwell. Sorry, 4-0. 4-0 Cantwell to score first. One better than that game we played against them in February.
I didn't think you'd say the scoreline there, Scotia. I'm sure he didn't say one there. So 4-0. No, I'd take 4-0. And Jim, there's Jim Soane as always. Thank you very much, Jim.
Cheers, Jim.
Yeah, my team would be Butland, Tav, Goldson, Suter, Yilmaz, Lundstrom, Raskin, Cantwell, Seema. I'm Scott Wright as well. I'm taking Lammers out. And he played Scott Wright against Hibs. So Scott Wright. And I would play Danilo, but from what he's saying in the press, I don't think he'll start. And so it'll be Dessers for me. Danilo hopefully maybe coming on for the last half hour and build him up for the semi-final at Hampden next week. Yeah. And I'm going 2-0 Rangers, Seema, first goal scorer. Seema's a good one to get in your cup these days for first goal scorer.
He is.
Score any time. So, yes, that is my score. So, yes, looking forward to Sunday. A lot of football coming up. Obviously, we've got away to Dundee on the Wednesday, and then we have the League Cup semi-final the following Sunday as well. So, yeah, I would like to thank everybody in the comments tonight, our new member as well, and also all the kind donations tonight as well. And yes, my two guests that have been on tonight as well. Thank you very much, Scott Carney.
Pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you for all the donations, as I said. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, a lot of football coming up, which means a lot of podcasts, which means you get to see our beautiful faces. But no, as I say, on to Sunday now, and yeah, Dessler's masterclass incoming. You heard it here first.
That'll be clipped now, Carney. Yeah, and last but not least, Scott Gemmell, thanks for coming on, and I will see you on Sunday, Scotia.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Enjoyed that. See you on Sunday. I'm away now to ruin my weekend. I'll go and watch that first half from last night.
Don't, Scotia.
There's no need, mate. We're never going to talk about it again, mate. So you don't need to do your homework.
Yeah, don't put yourself through that, Scotia, honestly. But if you want to, fair play. But yes, we will be back on Sunday with a match reaction and hopefully another win for Rangers in the league under Clement. So we have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we will see you on Sunday.